Hello and welcome! We are
The Sisters of the Holy Fiber. My name is Devin, also known as Rambunctious Guy. And this is episode 14. So sorry to interrupt you. Your turn.
And this is Heather, also known as Tiny Kiwi, and I have no idea what episode number this is, so I'm glad somebody does. So, grab a pencil or an eraser, depending on how good your drawings are going, and join us while we craft and chat.
And thanks for coming back if you've been watching before, and hello to any of our new viewers. We welcome you to our zany and silly show. We are going to start things off with whips in progress. Whips. Our works in progress. Which is what whips in progress would stand for.
I know, it's like ATM machine. You kind of just better not to think about it.
Anyway,
on track today.
What are you working on?
Oh my gosh, what am I not working on? I'm like so scatterbrained now that we're in a break month. So the Fair Isle, well, I don't know if you could call it fair. Well, yeah, I guess it's only 2 colors technically.
Let's mention that really quickly. So the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup goes for 3 months, and Hufflepuff won this time. Ravenclaw, we did so bad in everything except for advanced studies. Like, we always do really well in advanced studies, and the rest of it, we're like, meh.
We won, Slytherin won the Quidditch Cup, though.
Yes, I saw that. Good job for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't win
job,
anything.
Slytherin. And we were like, somebody counted, we were like maybe 3 like advanced projects away from like winning or something. So, next term, it's worse.
Yeah, next term it'll be fine because I'm going to be sorted with Slytherin. So yeah. I signed up to be sorted in Slytherin, so we'll see if that happens.
Fingers crossed, because we could really use you. And especially since I don't know if I'm going to do an owl this time around. Because the owl, like, the big project that I want to do is, like, this cowl, and I don't have the yarn for it. And I'm on the yarn diet. So, and that's really pretty much the only big project that I have in mind that I really, really want to work on. So that might have to wait a little.
What about, putting together 3 different projects that you want to make?
I thought about that, because I still never did get around to making that, that hat by Franklin Habit, I think it was.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of it was. Rosaline, I think. But, I thought about that because that'd be a good way to get that hat done. But I don't know. It just seems kind of easier having one big project instead of a bunch of small ones. Like, I did 8 for my first owl, for Arithmancy. I did, like, 8 headbands. And that was good because my skills weren't as good as they are now. I mean, and I still have plenty of room for improvement, but that was great for me at the time. But having one shawl to work on really helped keep me focusing. So, I don't know. I haven't decided. I always do this.
Last time we spoke, you were like, no owls, never, anymore. No owls.
Yeah, and so now I have a really cute GIF picture that somebody made for me, because in our dorm room, I was like, 2 days before owls, I hate this. I'm never going to do this again. My hands hurt. I can't take the stress of imaginary points. And it's like 2 days after owls are due. I'll just make a lovely project for my next owl. And so somebody made me like a little picture with that quote on there. Because that's kind of how owls go.
Yes.
Yes. You're like, I can't take it. And then next thing you know, oh, what a lovely project.
I could do this in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. It's like temporary insanity all over again. Anyway.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to mention that's what we were talking about with break month.
Yes.
On to what our segments actually are for Whips in Progress and what you were talking about.
So this is kind of basically just a swatch. Let me see if I can hold
pretty.
it still enough. Yeah, this is the, I'll show it. I'll show it one thing at a time. This is a swatch. It's supposed to look like stained glass. It's getting there.
Yeah, I really like that stained glass look. It's very pretty.
Yeah, and it's really only 2 yarns because I'm just using a variegated yarn for the glass parts to make it look more stained glassy.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is only 2 yarns, so I guess you could technically call it Fair Isle. But I started this to try to teach myself how to weave in floats. Let me show the back side. And to practice Fair Isle, because I don't really do it. So some of it's got floats, some of it's woven in. Just kind of practicing. But it turned out so nice, I was like, oh, well, I might as well make it into something. So the goal is to make 2 of these swatches and then crochet up the sides and turn them into wristers for Tracy, because she's got big wrists.
Nice.
I have tiny wrists, so that wouldn't really work. It'd fall off my arm.
So have you gotten over your, like, disdain for floats since you're practicing floats?
No, the floats are at the bottom, and then I was like, I hate floats, and then started weaving in again. Sorry. I really hate floats.
You're so funny.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't know if you can see. Let me hold it close, too. But I think I'm twisting my stitches, and I'm not even sure how. Because they look like I'm twisting them.
It's got to be something to do with your
Weaving
it in, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I really don't know. It's one of those things, it's like, I haven't worked on this particular swatch in probably a year. So it's like, I have no idea what I was doing. Oh, whatever. I try to end it on a row where I'm going to knit the next row, because I have instructions for weaving in your floats on the knit row, because it's supposed to be, a circular pattern. Most of the Fair Isle stuff's done in the round. So there's not very good instructions on weaving on a purl row.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since I'm knitting continental, and most people split the yarn and do 1 yarn in each hand, for stranded work. I don't really like to do that, but I'm starting to think maybe that would be a prudent thing to teach myself. So we'll see.
I think that would be a really good thing to try on that second swatch that you're going to do.
Yeah, and it might help some of my weird twisty issues here too. And like I said, even though I'm going to turn these into a real project, they are just practice still, and so now's the time to practice before I start a giant project. Let me show you the original pattern. This is from the unofficial Harry Potter Knits mag that we've talked about before. Oh, I love this mag. Yeah, and someone's like, oh my gosh, that was like $15? And I'm like, you don't understand. I love this magazine.
It's like a book.
It really is. And then they looked through it and they were like, oh, and I like these socks, and I like these socks. And I was like, uh-huh, don't you? Now, don't you wish you bought one? Anyway, so this is the Tracery Vest by Kathleen Sperling, where tracery is the lead work that they do in stained glass. So that's why she named it that. Anyway, so it's very, sculptural and sort of geometric, so I really liked it. But a vest is kind of large, and I wasn't really sure about the shaping, looking at other people's projects and stuff, so I really don't know if I need, vertical lines going over my tummy. Yeah. So I figured swatch size, better idea of whether or not I like it enough to make a giant project out of it.
Right.
And practice. So I do kind of like it, but it can be a little tedious. Mostly just because of the weaving in.
Yeah, so if you got over it, I'm sorry.
I know, and that's why I did part of it with floats, because I was like, oh, this is so tedious, I'll just do it like I'm supposed to. And then I was like, I hate floats! I hate them! And then I had a little spaz attack, and then I started weaving in again. It's just like every book. Let me show you the book I'm using for reference. It's a pretty good book. It's the Very Easy Guide to Fair Isle Knitting. I think, what is the company? Oh, I thought this was one of the regular... I don't remember who publishes this. What's the little griffin symbol publisher?
I don't know.
They have a lot of very easy guides, too, and then they, sort of pictorial thing. Anyway, I really like this book. And it was helpful, except it still doesn't really show you how to do weaving on a purl side. And yet, all of the swatches that are samples in this book, let me find a good one that'll show up. They're all flat.
Yes.
They're flat swatches.
Yes.
So
you don't have to weave it in to get that. It's practice.
They probably just have a whole sorts of floats in the back.
Yes.
Sloppy floats. Needless to say, I would like a pictorial guide on how to weave on a purl side, and I would feel more confident about doing it. Um, I think I just need more practice. And I was thinking, maybe as much as I hate floats, maybe it would be better to start at the beginning, like you're supposed to. Start in the round, do the floats, learn the practice, and then try to do the harder weaving in on a purl side. Flat pieces.
And if one of the reasons that you don't like floats is because it kind of pushes and pulls the knitting, that's because you have to learn like exactly how much yarn to leave in the back.
And I don't have too much trouble with that, weirdly enough. Because I know, when you leave too much and the stitch gets longer, you make it too short, it gets too tight. But I actually have a pretty okay time with tensioning the floats. I just really I don't like the way it looks, number one. Because I'm used to having tidy backs of things with embroidery and stuff. That's kind of just one of the things I like to do. I don't like a sloppy backside either, I want to tuck the threads in. I want to, have it look nice.
Nobody likes a sloppy backside.
No. Yeah, no. And the other thing is that growing up, anything that you had with that kind of stuff, with floats, you put it on, you snag it. It's just inevitable. No matter how careful you are, at some point you're going to snag a float. And to me, that just seems sloppy. If you could weave it in, yeah, it takes a little longer. You've got to do an extra motion when you're knitting. But honestly, I think it makes a much better result.
I just have to say,
you disagree?
My Fair Isle cardigan
is done.
I have not snagged putting it on or taking it off.
Well, aren't you coordinated? I'm not coordinated. I would snag it. Oh, and socks, too. Like when you put a sock on.
So, just like, socks? I think that the reason that the floats don't catch is, when you first knit it, and this is like, you can hate floats for the rest of your life and I will still love you, and it's okay. I'm just like, why they don't bother me, I guess. I guess it's just like making me think about it more. So my Fair Isle cardigan, it's not really Fair Isle, it's stranded knitting, because the patterns are not Fair Isle, and the colors are certainly not Fair Isle in that cardigan, so it's more like a stranded knitting. Anyway, the floats in the back. When I first made it, the floats are a little bit bumpy, in the fabric, but then, after blocking it and after washing it, like the floats, it's like, they're not sticking out anymore. It's a thick fabric now, but because I know what you're talking about, like those things that you always snag when you put it on as a kid. Like I don't even remember what it was, but I had stuff that I would snag too, and just thinking about it, like I've never snagged that cardigan. I've snagged my lace things, get a little something caught and that snags, and I've had to pull that out. And I know there's something, I do have my clap OT. That's a pattern that has the ladders that you purposefully drop stitches and it makes those ladders. That thing snags all over the place.
Right.
And I've had to fix that a number of times, but yeah, so I just feel like after some wearing, the wool fabric of the floats pulls it together and it just makes a flat fabric. Yeah. I don't know.
Again, I'm not using wool in this.
I know you're not. I'm just talking about me.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about what you should do or what you shouldn't do. I'm just thinking about my own sweater.
And I hate floats. So there's that. It's just prejudice. I hate floats.
Yes. It's like how I hate pooling. Why? I don't know. It just looks dumb to me.
It's the mystery of life.
Yes. All right. I will talk about something I'm knitting now.
Okay.
And then we can go back to you if you have more. So I talked about this a long time ago. This is a dishcloth. And it's break month, so it's time to finish up things that I didn't finish or get around to. And I don't even remember what this yarn is, but it's like kind of scrubby, so we use them for the dishes. Mm-hmm. And our other one is starting to smell.
Ooh.
So I need to finish this one so that I can toss the other one into the wash with some hot water. So I'm working on that.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything else?
Yeah. That's pretty much all I've been, like, probably most of what I've got is works in progress because I've been doing a little bit of everything. That's what I do in break month. I'm like, all those projects that I have to do that, and then it gets back to, regular term, and I'm like, focus. But right now it's like all over the place. So, oh, I measured my fib nerdy, by the way. It was 6 feet, unblocked.
Holy bejesus.
6 feet. Unbelievable. Okay, I totally
Wow.
believe it. That thing is long.
That's taller than you.
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. Anyway, I've also started trying desperately to work on Jane's hat, but Miss Jane's hat. Sorry, wrong Jane. Don't get excited, geeks. Wrong Jane. Unless you're a Jane Austen fan, and in which case, do get excited. So here, in case you have forgotten or never joined me when I was actually making this a few months ago, is the only progress I've got on this cabled part of the headband. It's a cap. I completely forgot where I was. The row counter that I was using, clearly incorrect. I remember that I had a twisted stitch somewhere, like a knit where it should have been purl. And the last thing I remember was dropping down to fix that. And I thought at the time, oh, good, I got it, I fixed it. Looking at it now, I have no idea what I was doing, where I'm at. I think I've moved stitches where I shouldn't have moved them. So now I'm like, oh my gosh. I tried ripping out a row and seeing if it made things clearer. And I was like, I still have no idea what I'm doing. So I haven't really decided what I'm doing with that. I might try ripping it back 5 rows or something to where the cable crosses and see if I can go from there. But I don't want to rip it all the way that far back if I don't need to, because it's very easy to read knitting. I'm having a brain fart about figuring out where I am in the
Sleep
pattern.
on it, do it tomorrow.
Yeah, except that I've been doing that too long, and I really want to work on this,
Yeah.
So
I wish I was there. I could tell you. I could figure it out for you, but...
Exactly. And I've gotten better at counting on the purl side, where the actual stitches are. It just seems like I said, like I moved a stitch or something, so my stitch count is wrong, so it doesn't match the chart. So I don't know what row I'm really on. And I'm not quite good enough at reading it to figure out exactly where I am. So I don't know. I stared at it for a couple hours the other day. Of course, I was really tired when I was trying to do that, and I was like, this is stupid. I'm gonna burn the whole thing and walk away if I saw it. After I ripped through one row, I was like, this isn't gonna happen today. So, yeah, I keep staring at it, pulling out the bag, looking at it, and going, I'll deal with this later. But it's the project I want to work on the most.
I know.
Next to the Fair Owl thing, it's not a Fair Owl, but whatever. Next to the tracery mitts that I'm making, I really have to make those because those are for Tracy, and I told her I was going to make them, and that was a year ago. You know how that goes in the crafting world.
Yes.
Anyway, I really would like to do that because she really helped me out getting me a temporary job. So I would like to finish these to thank her. But they also drive me a little nuts working on them for a long time. Because of the way that I knit, and because I don't quite know what I'm doing. So I need to set them down, and then work on a project I know what I'm doing, which should be this hat, but isn't. So, yeah. If you see a package that's marked with a bunch of question marks in the mail, you'll know what it is. That I finally gave up, and you can send it back, tell me what row I'm on. Or what I did.
You could also just take it outside and take send me pictures.
I might do that. I just feel like, I don't know what it is about my brain that's like, I'm usually great at figuring out where I'm at on the cable or whatever because of that long pink monstrosity cable scarf that I did. I just have a mental block with this one. I don't know what it is. The yarn's kind of dark too, which I can use that.
That's it. I think
yes.
the yarn is dark. It's hard to count rows.
It's my brain. It's like, I just haven't done cables in forever, and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Yeah. But enough blathering about that. So, one other project. Let's see. I don't know where it's at. Ta-da! So, let me hold my little tatting shuttle up. Ta-doo! So, I remember that I love tatting! Yay!
Yay!
Because it's so small and portable and I can do it and not be quite as obnoxious as knitting in public. You know how some people get offended when you're knitting during their lecture or something, you know? Tatting, smaller, easier to hide. So, I totally did this at a volunteer meeting recently. Yeah, people noticed, but everybody was like, oh, what is that? Yes. So, I picked that up again, trying to remember what I was doing. I totally did it wrong, but...
I can't see anything. Show me what...
Yeah, it's all twisted and whopper-juded. Anyway.
But I want to see what you have. Put your hand in the back of it.
Because it's horrible. It's all... I don't know what happened. It's all twisted and everything. And I held the loop wrong, so I don't know what I was thinking, but...
Put your hand behind it.
I'm trying. If I pull it now, it's all just going to come undone, I think.
No, it's not coming, but that's okay.
Oh,
is
sorry.
the thread green?
Yes, indeed it is.
Nice.
So right now I just have kind of a string of knots. That's cut it off and try again. Because I was like, this is another craft I haven't done in ages. So I was trying to remember how to do it. And of course, like an idiot, I'm trying to work out of a Japanese book. Because I have no sense. I have no common sense. So yeah. It's a great book, as you can see from the look at all this crazy stuff this lady made. That is gigantic project.
Mm-hmm.
She's all smiling at the end, too. Let me show you her. You know why she's smiling? Let's see if you can see. Because she's gone crazy. This woman is nutters. But, yeah, it's really cute and all, but I don't think I have the focus for a tatted project that's larger than my torso.
That would take forever.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about how long it took her.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so, what is this? Sutekina. Tatting lace. Anyway. Nice book. All linked to the ISBN. I liked the pictures in this one slightly better than the pictures in the other tatting book that I have. So, yeah, but again, trying to remember what I'm doing when I have patterns when the instructions are in Japanese, it's like, then it's two things I'm trying to do at once. I'm trying to remember my Japanese and, well, okay, three things. Trying to remember Japanese, trying to translate, and trying to do a craft. Yeah. You think I would learn, except that I totally don't, because I do this all the time. I'm crazy.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, it totally is. Every time, I swear, I go into our dorm room and I'm like, I'm never working from a Japanese pattern again. I'm an idiot. I can't figure out what I'm doing. And then a month later, oh, look at this cute Japanese pattern. Yeah.
Then I finished.
Yeah. Temporary insanity. Yeah, exactly. Like that little fish. The one, this guy. He was close by anyway. Choo, 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 choo. So, yeah. He was off of a Japanese pattern and I was going nuts trying to make him. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm an idiot. What was I thinking? And, yeah. He got done, so who cares?
And he's adorbs.
Yes. Hello, Claude. How are you doing?
Hello, world.
Yeah. I totally named him after an alligator. Sorry about that, Claude. I think that's actually all I'm working on. Like, actually working on instead of just thinking about working on, which is numerous projects.
Numerous more things.
I know, I was like, oh, I could learn broomstick crochet. Yes. I'm like, okay, no more projects. Hairpin lace. No more projects. Except Tracy picked up hairpin lace, and I was like, I've always wanted to do hairpin lace. I saw the cutest project with hairpin lace on sleeves. So cute. So cute. No more projects. Focused. Like a laser. Like a laser in a room full of mirrors. Yeah. That's pretty much kind of
Show
title. Oops. Yeah, so that's all I'm working on. Do you have anything else you're working on?
Yes, but hold on. I'm writing it down.
That's fine. I'm gonna.
Oh, look, it's my giant forehead.
I'm gonna cut this weird monstrosity of a project that I did and try to figure out what I was doing.
So other things I'm working on, I have not made any progress on the socks since you last saw them because I haven't spent 2 hours picking up the stitches. I thought about doing it today and I did laundry instead. Yippee!
Yay!
And I have made progress on this.
Ooh!
You remember this?
I do indeed. I love that one.
So I made this purse for my sister. Pre-Ravelry, people. That is how long ago I made this purse. And I told her at the time, oh, you might hear my kitty in the background. She decides to talk with me sometimes.
Yes.
So I told her you should line it because it's a knit bag and it might expand. So she didn't use it because she didn't line it and I should have lined it for her. So then I was like, hey, give it back to me.
No, I don't think that's how that story went, madam. I'm going to totally interrupt you. I should have lined it, and I didn't use it because I did use it once or twice, and I was like, oh, she's so right. This is just going to sag and turn into something horrible. And I didn't line it because I was lazy. So
yeah,
I
took it back.
Yeah.
And was like, I'll line it. That was like at least a year ago. Probably like 2.
Was it that long, really?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
And I know that because this fabric I got when I was taking a quilt making class with my friend. I bought more fabric than I needed for my quilt top, and this fabric I got from that class. So, and that was last January or February, so I probably started working on this. Yeah, so it's probably been a year. Maybe not quite as much. Maybe I think my brain is exaggerating a little bit. But anyway, so I already have the lining sewn, obviously, and I'm just sewing it down. And I've made some good progress on that. I just have a little bit here to finish, and then this line here, and it'll be done. So it takes a while, you know. I can't remember the name of the stitch that I'm using to sew it in, but it's the one that is good for sewing a woven fabric to a knitted fabric. Because knitted fabrics stretch and give, so you have to use a stitch that will also stretch and give, or it'll break.
Right.
So I've been working on that, and I'm excited that it's in its home stretch, and it's so close to being done. I did order yarn for a shawl. I decided, I know I think we talked about that I'm going to knit a shawl for my wedding, and I ordered the yarn for it finally. I ordered a gradient yarn from the Unique Sheep. So they sent me an email that it's been dyed, it's like on its way. Like Ooh. They put it in the post.
That is exciting.
So that's very exciting. But that isn't even a work in progress yet. It's a plan in progress.
Yeah. Plans are important, though.
Yeah.
And that's such a big project, you really do have to plan, like, ahead.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I don't even think I have the right needles.
Oops.
So, but when the yarn gets here, I don't really like trying to plan needles if I don't have the yarn yet. I don't know.
Right.
I just gotta have the yarn.
Never know. Never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So, that is all I'm working on. On to finished objects. Do you have any finished objects this week?
Oh, yes. I got so many finished objects I can't even start. I don't know. I can't show you all of them because there's just too many.
Shall we just move right along through this segment? Because I don't have anything either.
Yay!
Yay! Okay. What's next?
I have no idea. It's been too long. I've been sick, guys. I'm so sorry that we've been kind of delayed. But I'm better now.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay. Yeah, and that's, how things go. We are an inconsistent podcast. Yippee! Yay. Who cares? All right. On to our next segment.
Woohoo!
Which is brainy moments, I think. Do you have any brainy moments this week?
You know, I think I might have had one a week ago, but I don't anymore. Boop. Brain fart. Nada.
Okay, I don't have anything in here. Moving right along. Got anything for shiny?
I do! Something I do have something for, other than endless works in progress, which I totally have. Okay, so, do. Let's see if I can get the light on it so you can actually read this little button.
Hi, I don't remember your name either.
Yay! So I got that at the Renaissance Fair. Because Tracy knows everyone. Okay, she knows just about everyone. There's a few people she doesn't know, but then she makes friends with them and she knows them then. Yeah, I'm not that person. I don't remember names. I'll remember your face till the end of time. And I was like, I know you. Your face is very familiar, but whether I knew you in elementary school or you were my teacher in 7th grade, I don't know. No, it's a mystery. I know you though. So yeah, I got that button. I'm gonna totally wear that with my name tags, like, all the time now. I'm just gonna pin it to whatever name tag I've got. Hopefully, I was gonna say, I hope no one's gonna be offended, though. People get kind of snippy sometimes when you don't remember their name. Sorry, guys. Bad memory. Meh. Anyway, so I was totally excited about that.
I'm sorry you're not important enough in my life for me to give it, but...
It's not even that. I could know someone and actually, like, they're important and they're, like, in my study group and I see them every day and I still don't remember your name.
Yeah.
I remember your face, not your name. Oh, no, I accidentally created a little Pico.
Sometimes, like, when I'm introducing myself, I'll introduce myself and they'll say their name and then, we'll go on. And it will literally be 30 seconds later and I'll go, what did they say their name was?
I know, I'm
like, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. I'm just so busy trying to navigate the social scene.
Yeah.
That is, like, not on my list of things to remember, Like, did I make an idiot of myself? Okay, no? Okay, good. That was the most number one thing. Don't make an idiot of yourself. Don't talk about how you got lice in the 12th grade. Don't, just think before you speak and all that kind of stuff. I'm totally socially awkward, so I'm just more happy that I managed to navigate something without weirding people out. Yes. Which is still TMI. Sorry, guys.
I got a... Oh, don't worry about it. Are you talking about the lice part? Because I can cut that out.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Okay.
No, that's not a problem. I just meant about being socially awkward.
Oh, well, I'm socially awkward too. Yay!
Yay! Socially awkward people unite some other day.
Knitting and talking on the internet.
Yay!
So my shiny this week, I thought I didn't have anything, but I forgot I do. I have a big shiny, but I can't show it. I bought a bike.
Oh! Yay!
It's a road bike, which means that it doesn't have shocks, essentially, is what it means. And it's meant for riding on pavement, not riding on dirt.
Right. Because no shocks.
Yes. And it has, it does have gears, so I can do riding up hills and things. And I am starting to learn what gear I need to be in for what situation, which is fun. But it's just like so when I was out riding, I had it in my head, like, oh, I get it, right? Like, if I do this, it does that, and if I do this, it does that. And I got it for, like, 2 minutes. And then it, like, leaked out my brain, and it was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just, like, a spatially confusing thing.
So. A moment of cognizance.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had a moment of cognizance. Cognizance, I can't say that word.
Okay.
And then it left me. But I'm very excited about my bike, and I rode to work the other day, and it took, like, seriously, riding to work, it probably took a minute or two longer than driving. Like, it did not take that much longer to ride my bike to work.
Right.
So, that was really cool. And I'm going to ride to work tomorrow, and
That's great.
Yeah, so it's a good bike for both commuting and for exercising because I can commute on it, but I can also go for longer rides on it too. So
That's good.
yeah, so I'm very excited about it, and it reminds me of our dad because our dad had a road bike.
Yep.
And it makes me feel warm and tingly on the inside.
Oh, yay!
Yay.
Better than on the outside, because that means you've got poison ivy.
No!
I was just reading about poison ivy. Sorry, it's I guess on my mind. We have the strangest conversations. Sorry.
Yes. Well, that's why they tune in, so don't apologize.
Yeah, I guess so. Who knows why you crazy people tune in? What else? So I guess that's it for Shiny.
That's it for Shiny. Our next segment is Hyperventilate. Do you have anything in the geekery world that you are super excited about this week?
I feel like I do, but not really. I was just looking at a bunch of manga and I was like, oh, I love the world of manga. I completely forgot how much I love all of this. And then I didn't check out anything because I was like, oh, the library has it. I'm not going to buy anything. And now I'm not reading anything. Moral of the story, a book in the hand's worth 2 in the library. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good moral or if I just have craziness. 50-50 chances.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, sorry. Tangenting, so I totally forgot where we are now.
That's okay.
All right. I rely on you to keep us on track, because today...
Okay. I don't have any Hyperventilate this week. My day today was not very exciting. I mean, I filled it up with things I had to do, but it wasn't anything terribly exciting, so.
Okay.
Nothing exciting over here for Hyperventilate. On to books. You been reading anything lately?
Indeed I have. I finished Brain on Fire, which I think I mentioned on the last post.
Yes.
It was very interesting. It was kind of, because some parts of it are very medical. She talks about, like, what happened to her, because there's, like, a month where she doesn't remember a thing. So she relies on, like, third-party reports and medical reports and, you know, that kind of stuff from her doctor and from the notes that her parents took and stuff and video about what happened to her during that month that she can't remember. And the book itself is very, I think... It feels like it could have been written more like a story, because it's supposed to be kind of like a story, but it really turns out to be more of, like a book that I would hand to somebody who's going through the same thing, you know? Like, your daughter's gone crazy, and she has this, encephalitis of the brain, and, you know, and, oh, you don't know what's going on, and everybody's freaked out, because it's a serious thing. You basically, your brain swells, you go crazy, because your brain's swelling.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see using that as like, hey, this is what you're going through. You hand the book to them. It makes sense. They, you know, feel like they're not going crazy. Like they're, you know, is hope, you know, so they know what's going on. Right. But as a story, it kind of falls flat a couple times just because it's talking so much about medically what's going on with her instead of like emotionally what went on with her parents while they were going through this and that kind of thing. So while I found it interesting, it wasn't very novel-esque, you know?
Yes.
So it's a good read. If you like, you know, something to do with, you know, if you don't mind some kind of medical reading, it's not, you know, completely boring and dry like a medical textbook would be. She does a pretty good job of making the science of it approachable. So,
but there still is sciencey.
Yeah, it's still sciencey around the edges. Yeah, exactly. So if you like that kind of stuff, I would recommend checking it out. You can find it pretty cheap everywhere around now. I meant to check out and see if I could find some, because she's a reporter. A reporter, I guess you'd call it. So I wanted to read some of her articles to see, you know, how her other writing is, to see if, you know, how it compares. But I just haven't got around to it. I don't know if I will, but... So yeah, the book, check it out. The next thing I picked up and started reading was Orphan Train, but I haven't got very far into that one yet.
Orphan Train?
Orphan Train. I think the reference is to back in the day when they had a bunch of orphans left over from things on like the East Coast. They would put them on a train, ship them to the West Coast to work as labor, like housemaids and stuff. Yeah. At least I think that's what it is. I don't know if they're actually going to talk about that or if that's just like a reference, because it's also a story about like a teenage girl who's, gotten into trouble, so she's got to do community service or something, and she ends up helping out a little old lady, and that kind of thing. The sort of redemptive story or whatever, so we'll see how that one goes.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it'll be a pretty quick read if I actually sit down and read it. But I haven't done that yet. So...
Is it a novel?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I was going to say, it might have some historical truths in it when it comes to the orphan train parts, but I think it's all supposed to be a novel. If I remember right. Like I said, I just got it, and I just started it, so I don't know too much about it.
Cool.
Well, that's all that I can remember. Huh?
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. I've been going through a lot of my crafting books trying to decide, see if I could figure out an owl and seeing if, trying to plan homework projects ahead of time and for, next month and the next coming months. But lots of thinking, not so much actual planning. You know how that goes.
Yes.
Having a fun time looking at all my crafting books again and going, oh my gosh, there's everything I'd love to do. Yay! So, that's been fun.
That's fun.
But that's all I've got for books. What about you? It's a very confused face you got there.
I've been reading really exciting things for work, like, where is it? Oh, it's not right here. It is right here. It's in my desk.
Classroom management principles or something?
Oh, it's worse than that.
Oh, no.
The Core 6. Essential strategies for achieving excellence with the Common Core.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like very thrilling reading to me.
No, it's not.
Maybe essential. But
I have to read it for so I'm in my first year of teaching, and when you are credentialed in the state of California during your first year, you thought you were done with school, but you're not. You have 2 more years of things that you have to do.
Okay.
And so I had to read this book and pick a strategy and then do it in my class. I teach music, so I am not going to be closely reading any kind of texts with second graders. So,
yeah.
Like, I see my kids for half an hour. That's really my main thing about these techniques and stuff is, like, I've done a couple of lessons using some of these various techniques, and it'll take the kids 20 minutes to learn it, and then I have 10 minutes to teach. Like, I have half an hour.
Right.
I'm going to teach music, and I am all for using these things if they already know how to do it.
Right.
If they are already trained, or the whole school is doing a certain technique, so all the kids know how to do it when they come to me, then they come to that classroom, then I can use these things, but it's just a little bit much. So, but it is, that being said, it does help me to think about new ways of planning lessons that I would not have thought of otherwise. It's not necessarily, gotta go to the middle. To the middle.
Oh.
There you go. Tiny Kimi just showed me her tatting.
Yeah, so I finally figured out my tatting. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
I got it right this time!
Yay! Well, here, I'll show and tell.
Okay.
Here's my washcloth. Yay!
Yay!
So I just have to weave this end in.
Uh-oh. Nah. Just make a loop and say that it's a hanging thing. Oh no, it's already got the needle on.
It's almost done.
That's
So that's what I've been reading. And it's not terribly exciting, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
And as far as these types of books go, this one is approachable and it gets down to it and it's thin. It's not a lot of education speak. It's just like, this is it. This is why we're presenting it. These research studies have said it's good. This is how you do it. Here are examples if you're in kindergarten, 6th grade, and 10th grade.
Okay.
So.
That does sound better. And it's better than a big, huge book that's like, you use a tiny section of and you still gotta buy the giant book.
Yeah, that is this one. This book, it's called Visible Learning for Teachers, Maximizing Impact on Learning by John Hattie. Mm-hmm. He pretty much studied every research project they ever did on education and then compiled all the results.
Wow.
And so that book you can read like 2 pages of and you're like, blah.
Yeah. Some books just kind of make your brain fall out your ear.
Yeah, so that one's definitely a 2-pager at a time. Ooh. Yeah.
A little fish coming at you.
Yeah. So nothing terribly exciting for me in reading. So I'm just I don't know why I've talked about it for so much. Moving right along. I spy. Have you been spying anything lately?
I have. It's just the same bird of prey that I still can't figure it out. And like, I keep forgetting to bring my binoculars when I go to the historical garden that I volunteer at. So I keep hearing it. And one person's like, oh, that's a red-tailed hawk. And someone else is like, that's a Cooper's hawk. And I'm like, I can't see. But he keeps going, kee, 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 like around the tree, like all the time. I call him Squeaky now. Yeah.
Squeaky.
So I'm like, shut up, Squeaky.
He just want to talk to you.
I know. And I was like, does anybody know why he's like, goes out and cries for a while? And someone's like, oh yeah, when the mom leaves the nest. And I'm like, I don't know if you know what you're talking about. Nobody really even knows what the bird is. I keep hearing differing versions of what it's supposed to be. And I'm like, all right, forget about it. I don't need any of you guys. I'm bringing my book on hawks next time and my binoculars. This week.
And we are going to find out.
I'm going to find out. So I was like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, bird, what are you? I think, and this is just a complete guess, because I don't remember the calls of the red-tailed hawk versus the red-shouldered hawk, but I think it might be a red-shouldered hawk.
And then it would be awesome, because then you could go, y'all are wrong.
Wrong. You're wrong. Yeah. But
I'm right, because I have binoculars and a bird book.
I know. I used to know their calls apart because they have very distinctive calls, but I don't... It's been too long since I've done any kind of birding class. I do not remember anymore. You know, like, it's one of those use it or lose it kind of things.
Here it
so I lost. Oh, it's a sweetie's tail. Sweet. I keep hearing her chatting in the background. She's very chatty
she's got
today.
lots to say today.
So much.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so that's what my current birding obsession is. And I was about a foot or two from a hummingbird the other day. I still couldn't tell what it was. I was like, are you an Anna's or an Allen's? And you're just sitting there with this beady little eye looking at me. And I'm like, I hate you. Okay, no, I didn't say that. But I thought it really heavy. Hummingbirds, who cares? Everyone's like, but I love hummingbirds. Oh my god, you don't know what you're missing.
I know. Well, you know me and butterflies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, can I go now?
Yes, I didn't see anything else. I see nothing else. I'm sure I saw plenty of things, but I don't remember.
Okay.
So go ahead. I'm going to go grab my scissors while you're talking.
Okay. There she goes. So, I have seen lots of things because it's been a while since we've recorded, but I don't really remember anything except past today. So I'll talk about what I saw today. I went hiking today to a new trail, new to me trail. It's not a new trail. And I really like it because it follows a creek and it goes through both wooded areas as well as like meadow type areas. Along the hillside. So it's sunny, but then it gets not sunny in the shade and stuff. So it's a really nice mix, and I enjoyed it a lot. I was in a field, and I saw all these yellow flowers. I was like, oh, it's really pretty. So I just kind of stopped to look, and then I heard bees. And I was like, oh, cool. I wonder if I could find a beehive. You know, because it sounded like there was, like, that's how many bees, it sounded like the beehive was over me.
This sounds like a bad idea starting. It sounds like the story of how I got stung by 1,000 bees. I don't know if I like this story.
So, the bees were not in a hive, they were on the field of flowers.
Oh.
So they were not interested in me at all.
Right.
And they did not care that I was walking through. And I thought, because I had on the shirt that I have on now that's blue, I thought maybe somebody might be interested in me, but none of them came over to me at all.
Huh.
So that was interesting. And there was I saw some chipmunks, so that was cute. They were not squirrels. They were chipmunks. And of course, lots of lizards, which I always love. I'm like, eat all the bugs, eat all the bugs, eat all the bugs, eat all the bugs.
Pretty much. I totally don't know what I did with my little snippy scissors, so never mind.
Here, I'll let you borrow mine. Here you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, I remember. I took them to the Renaissance Fair. That's why I don't... They're none of the box. Oh, brain farts. I'll just use my big old scissors. I don't know why I suddenly wanted my little ones, but whatever.
Yeah, I just handed you my big old ones. So. As far as birds, I haven't really seen anything interesting lately, so yeah.
I feel like I have more like I've been looking at birds and I don't remember any of them though. I don't know why. It's one of those things, it's like when I'm inside all the time, I see one bird and I'm like, oh my god, I saw a house sparrow, and it's like, announcement of the day. And then, when I'm out in the garden and I see 50 birds and I'm like, whatever. Whatevs. So, yeah, I don't know.
So, shall we move right along?
Taking it for granted. Yeah, go for it. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what I'm doing next with my tatting.
Our next segment is Ear Party.
Ear Party. You first.
I have been listening to a lot of new things, but I will only mention one, because then I will have things to talk about next week.
Yay.
I went on a music buying spree. I was like, I need new music.
Yeah.
And I asked one of my friends for recommendations, and she recommended a gal named Tristan Prettyman, who at some point dated some famous singer. I want to say his name starts with an M, the last name starts with an M. But that's all I got.
That's a pretty wide open field there,
and
madam.
Then she broke up with him, or I think he decided to not be in a relationship or broke up with her or something. So she wrote this album, like, all about breaking up. And I've been listening to that. It's singer-songwriter type music, and she's got a number of good songs on there that I enjoy. So I've been listening to that. What have you been listening to?
Pretty much all the stuff that my general go-tos. The thing I was listening to most recently, was probably Fiona Apple, because she makes good workout music, because she's always angry, so you can walk fast. So I was listening to a lot of that, going through her whole album while walking. Because as part of my doctor's orders, I gotta walk more now. So, yeah. If I have music, it makes it much easier. So things that are upbeat and high tempo, or have a lot of emotion, like hers, because she's usually pounding away on the piano. Good, get you marching music, so. Or, another good one is, Robyn's stuff, Robyn. I don't know if you've heard any of her stuff other than the 80s stuff, but, she does a lot of high tempo stuff, well, not always. She's got very dancey music.
Mm-hmm.
So, she also makes good stuff with high, beats per minute kind of thing, for good workout music. So I'll link to one of hers, too, since I've been in workout music mode. So, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, it's just usually nobody new.
Moving right along. Walks in the urban wilderness. How you been?
Been doing good, because I have to, so I've been having to do more walking, so that's been alright. This week I went back to being able to work, basically 9 to 5 in the historic garden that I volunteer at, with my knit break in the middle. So that's a really good workout, because unlike digging and lifting and hauling and doing all that stuff. Because a lot of the volunteers, Lord knows I love them, but they're retired little ladies, you know? So they can't, there's a limit to, like, how much hopping over hedges and stuff that they can do.
Right.
So, because I'm young and spry, I take those jobs because I can, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I end up doing a lot of the stuff that they can't. So it's pretty tiring. I got the compliment that I work like an ox, though. So, yay! I was like, I know, most people be, like, totally insulted, but I'm like, yes! I totally do work like an ox. I'm glad you noticed. So, that's a great workout. As far as meditation goes, because I was trying to work more meditations into my routine, that I haven't been doing, like, sit down and meditate meditations, but I've been doing a lot of just, like, breathing practice because I've had to, because I've been sick lately. So that I've been doing a lot of the sort of mindful, you know, try to empty your mind, calm yourself, focus on your breathing kind of stuff. So even though I haven't sat down and done, like, I'm meditating you know, I've been doing plenty. Just because I had to, again. So, all in all, I feel good. You know, I feel like I've been getting enough walking and exercise in, and I feel like I've very easily met my meditation goals. So I'm happy. How's your stuff going and your yoga and all that?
Things are good. The 2 times that I didn't go to yoga on Saturday, it's because the Friday night before I had a little bit too much fun going out.
Ah.
So that, like, it's fun, but then I can't, like, I just don't feel, like, my body just doesn't feel like doing yoga because it's still getting over beer.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have to drink that much because I'm a lightweight, and then it just doesn't work out very well.
I understand.
So, but I did get the bike. So I have been biking more.
That's good.
And the ride that I went on with my friend, she took me, and that was nice to go with somebody while I'm getting used to my bike still.
Right.
I think I could, like, I can commute to my school for work because it's not that far, but I still don't feel like I'm very comfortable enough to go for long rides with just by myself. But
yeah.
but when I did, I had that, like, exercise euphoria afterwards.
Right.
And it's been so long since I've had that, like, I totally forgot about it, and so that was really nice.
That is cool.
And then the next day, my legs didn't hurt. So even though I biked 18 miles and I haven't been on a bike in the couple of years, I've been doing enough walking and getting outside and stuff that I wasn't as out of shape as I expected to be.
That's good. Especially since you were still, you know, you were sick not that long ago.
Yeah. So I'm recovering nicely.
Yeah.
As far as the goals that I had, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm going to change them.
Okay.
I want to walk, like, I want to go for a hike, and I want to go for a bike ride, and I want to do yoga.
Okay.
Once a week. One of those each.
Okay.
So that's my new goals. That's what I did last week, so I feel like that's achievable.
Mm-hmm.
And also it leaves room for, like, either the hike or the bike ride to be, like, a really long one, so to get more exercise power in.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's for me, and our next one is random. Got anything for random?
Not really. I think my whole thing has been random. My crafting has been so random that the rest of my life has just gone crazy and in response to that. It's just like when the crafting world is open to me and I don't have, like, a big project that I know that I have to work on, I'm like, I want to do all the things. Yeah, that doesn't work so well for getting anything done. So, yeah. I think if anything random, I really need to figure out if I'm going to do an owl, because I usually just, you know, figure out I'm going to do an owl halfway through the first month, and it's like, then I've lost half a month of crafting time. And I cannot do that. I really scraped way too close with that shawl. And I was totally miserable, like, the last week. I mean, I got it done, but I really don't know if I even want to do that again. I think at this point I would really rather fail an owl than get stressed out again. So, I need to let go of the project that's not going to happen because I don't have the yarn for it, and be serious and think about whether or not I'm going to do something else with what I've got. Because I'd really like to do a cabled project. I feel like in the mood for cables, but I don't have any plans for large projects, for like a 3-month project that I could do that's cabled with yarn that I have. So I have leftover blue yarn that you used for your cabled sweater. I don't remember off the top of my head what that is.
It's Rowan tweed. Rowan something tweed. I can't remember either.
Yeah. But I really like the stitch definition on that. Even though it was tweedy, the cables came out well. So I might have enough of that to do something, but I don't know what. And again, it's just like, if I pick 3 small projects, then I have 3 more. It's like I have 3 decisions to make instead of 1, you know? And that's the harder thing. The hardest thing is like, if I had one project that I was super duper wanting to make, then I would maybe cram 2 others in just to make it happen. But it's like, everything at this point, I just feel kind of like, I'll get to it eventually, you know? Like, I just have this sense of malaise about me, I don't know. So I gotta figure something else out, though, because if I don't propose an owl by the 1st of next month, I really shouldn't. And that's pretty much it. So, and the end of the month is really coming up upon us pretty quickly. Like, surprisingly quickly. So, yeah. Yeah, I know, and it's like, sorting is already open, and it's like, when sorting was open, I was like, oh my god, are we really that close to the end of the month? And I was like, oh, I can't hear you. You know, it's like, I did need a break, though, because that shawl I really pushed that shawl at the end, and I kind of hurt my hands a little, you know, like, I'm only just now starting to feel like my thumbs are getting back to normal.
Yeah, that was too much. You should have stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have. I really should have. And that's another reason why I'm like, yeah, I can't do that again. I made it, yeah, but who cares? I shouldn't have done it. So that really was probably a nude's worth of work for me. For me, you know, not for everybody else.
Well, remember, you started later. Like, I think it was an owl's worth if you had proposed it on the 1st and started on the 2nd.
Yeah, that's true.
And not gave up. Like, remember that there was like a week in there where you didn't touch it because you're like, I'm not going to finish.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, I did a little bit.
I think it was an owl's worth.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel like if I had just had like a half month more, I would have been alright, you know? And that it wouldn't have to have been crammed.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm such a slow knitter. I need to stop proposing knitting projects, number 1. But I really like knitting.
Well, you're getting better at it. And after that shawl is done, I'm sure you're a much better knitter. That was a lot of stitches.
Yeah, I really feel like I've gotten faster. I mean, I feel slow still, but to keep it in perspective, my new knit group that I found on accident, the one that I walked into at the volunteer room of the historic garden that I work at, I was like, oh, look, it's a room full of knitting people. Okay, well, good thing I brought my knitting. And the lady was like, yeah, you do the most complicated knitting of all of us. And I'm like, I guess I kind of do. I didn't really think about it, but I looked around at the projects, and everybody just makes, you know, they're doing charity hats and stuff. And I walked in with the ferrule, and they're like, oh my god, this is so pretty. And I'm like, I thought it was just a kind of ugly swatch and some ugly yarns, but I'm glad you like it. Ta-da! Look what I can do. So.
Yay.
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess I'm not so bad. It's easy to compare myself to other people that are better, but why do that? That's just a path to insanity.
Mm-hmm. You speak the truth.
Yeah. What about random stuff for you? Do you got anything?
I started a compost bin.
Oh, how's that going?
Well, I started it yesterday.
So not very far yet.
So it hasn't gone too far. I don't really have enough dry stuff to put in it. I don't have grass clippings. All I have are like the leaves that fall from the oak tree.
Huh.
So I was going to. There are a couple of other oak trees that line my street,
Uh-huh.
and there's a house next to my apartment building, and they don't usually like clean up the oak leaves. They just kind of gather against this fence. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
perfect, I'll go collect them. Except somebody cleaned them up one day, of course. So now they're not there. I'm just like, ugh. So now I have to wait until they appear again.
Right.
Unless I
Shake the
look like a
tree really
crazy
hard.
lady sweeping up the sidewalk. Who's sweeping the sidewalk?
It's like, but wait, this is still good. These are still good.
Or I'm gonna, or what would be even better is like sweeping up the debris from that's in the street, right? Because sometimes piles accumulate in the street. So that's gonna be me.
Yep.
But I did manage to kind of sweep up enough stuff to layer some, dry and then some of my kitchen scrappy things.
Uh-huh.
I have been eating a lot more fresh food lately, which makes me feel awesome.
Right.
It's just so, I don't know, I just feel better.
I agree with that. I've been eating a lot more salad lately myself, and it's just like because a lot of the ingredients are in season right now, so it's just really nice,
Yeah.
eating something that's tasty.
Yeah, I had a roast beet. So I'm just basically cooking beets myself, which
Yeah,
is,
I
I
remember
found
you.
out was super easy. And,
Was that the same way you made them last time?
yeah,
Yeah.
roast beet and cheese. So all you really need for the flavor is the roast beet and a nice cheese, like a goat cheese. But I've also used cheddar cheese. And I was making sandwiches
Are beautiful.
originally. So I had avocado
Uh-huh.
that I put in too. And then we ran out of bread. So I was like, I'll just make a salad. So I put the same ingredients in, and I bought some spinach from the local farmer's market that was still on its little stalk. So it was like this little clump of like 5 or maybe like 7 leaves of spinach. Like that's
Uh-huh.
it. And so I bought like 3 of them because I'm not a big salad person. So
Uh-huh.
my salad was 80% like beets and cheese and avocado and stuff, and then like a little bit of
That's so funny.
spinach. But it was just so good,
Yeah.
so delicious and nutritious. And then I want to eat it, which is half the battle with me. Like I just don't like. If I could, I would just not eat.
Yeah. We get bad about eating sometimes, especially
But
when we get sick.
yeah,
I've not been so good with the eating lately because I've been sick. So it's been interesting trying to get back into a regular eating schedule. I'm not as bad as I could be. Like when I get really violently ill, I pretty much just stop eating. So it
which
hasn't been
doesn't
that bad.
help. It's just like
Yeah.
I wish it
Just
was the
makes
opposite because it would help.
I know it just makes you feel worse, and then it takes longer for you to get better, which is horrible. But that's just I have a really delicate digestive system, so that's just how it happens. So thankfully, it hasn't got that bad as like the flu or something, but just about. So I'm still on the eating lots of small meals throughout the day kind of thing. I'm only just now starting to kind of get back into the 3 meals a day kind of thing, like a normal person. So getting there, getting there.
Yeah, but I've been going to the farmer's market and getting fresh things. There's a seller. She's got tomatoes, so early tomatoes in
Oh,
season, and then she also has a couple of other things,
uh-huh.
like purple carrots that are orange on the inside. So they're really nice. They're very tasty, and I just roast them in olive oil and salt, and then they're delicious.
It's amazing, like what good ingredients can really do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's true of crafting, it's true of food. It's just like good ingredients take you a lot farther in everything.
And apparently, I just have a very discerning palate.
That's what I like to think.
And I'm also starting to like tomatoes too. Like I used to be not into tomatoes at all. But there's a couple of sellers at the farmers market and they're selling like they're so red. They're like this like you think of the red of the tomato and then just make it darker. Like they just
Yeah.
soaked up more sun than they knew what to do with. And they're a Japanese brand kind of tomato, like Momo something. It starts with an M.
Uh-huh.
And I just love them. Like, they're good in sandwiches, but we put it in pasta sauce on pizza too, and they're just flavorful. And I used to just not like tomato flavor. So
Yeah.
I think part of it is that my tastes are just changing as I grow older, but I also think part of it is that I have access to good tomatoes now. Because we had access to good tomatoes when we were growing up, because our grandmother grew tomatoes.
Right.
But I was just not, I was like, bleh, when I was young.
Tomatoes that are bad can be very mealy, and most of the tomatoes that you can get at the regular, like, restaurants and stuff are just so bad. I mean, they make people think they don't like tomatoes because those tomatoes are bad. And it's just really a shame because a good tomato is amazing. I had a friend that was growing the big, huge, like, sandwich size tomatoes, and usually the larger the tomato, I think the worse it is because it's just so full of water. It's just, I'm used to big tomatoes being bad, but these that she grew herself were so good. It was just a simple sandwich, and I was just in love with the tomatoes. I was like, I could eat these. I could probably just pick one up and just eat it. It was so good.
I'm hungry now.
I know, sorry. So yeah, good ingredients. We've talked about it before, but it's entirely true,
Mm-hmm.
Good yarn, good tomatoes. Everything is possible with good ingredients.
Mm-hmm. And that is it for this week's show. Join us on our Ravelry group. Let us know what you think. Give us any comments. Let us know if you're a tad or two. And our show notes can be found at sistersoftheholyfiber.wordpress.com. Usually at the same time you can find the episode, but sometimes it's a little late. But we will be there at some point. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel too if you'd like to stay in touch that way. I think I've covered everything. Signing off of this episode.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye. Outtakes. I'm a lovely bunch of coconuts.
But wait, there's more.
Uh-oh.
Nothing to see here.